summon in here? Nope. Cool. Wow.
Elden Ring is hard. It is definitely one of the more challenging games I've played in recent memory. I must admit, I'm not the best when it comes to video games. After all, it took me 3 years to beat Sekiro, which is another game from the same developer From Software. You may have heard of them. They've made games such as Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne. So having played Sekiro and a little bit of Dark Souls too, I'm not totally new to the genre, but I'm not a pro either. If there are any lessons to be learned from playing Elden Ring, it's the concepts of patience, timing, and luck. Knowing when to heal, when to dodge, when to attack, and maybe, most importantly, when to run, are things that players will experience as they journey throughout the game. If you're new to these types of games, you may be asking yourself, is it worth it? And to that I would say, Elden Ring is worth it, but only if you're patient. Hey everyone, I'm Kelvin Milcrack. You can call me Kelvin. Welcome to my channel. This is the start of a new series called Is It Worth It? It's not so much a review series, but more of a series where I talk about some of the games that I've been playing, and what my overall thoughts and first impressions are, and ultimately if I think it's worth buying. Please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the video. One of the first things I want to talk about is the difficulty. The game is hard, there's no doubt about that. Which isn't a bad thing, it's hard in a good way, you know? I lost track of how many times I died to an enemy repeatedly. The difficulty of enemies varies a lot. With some, you just end up one-shotting, while others will make you want to throw your controller across the room and scream profanities at the screen. But, don't let that scare you away. There are systems in place that make the game accessible to a new audience, such as summons, where you can summon NPCs or other players to help you beat a boss. I use summons all the time, almost every time, without shame. I don't care. If I didn't use summons, I wouldn't have beaten the game. And I didn't know summons were a thing early on until I looked up a guide on YouTube. And to be honest, I looked up a lot of things on YouTube when I was playing. In the beginning, I had no idea how to build my character. To be honest, I still don't. But I did make it work in the end. I kind of ended up with a janky blood build with a little bit too much stamina that kept me afloat. But I didn't know how complex you can make your build, and I was pleasantly surprised on how many options the game gives you to tailor your character to your playstyle. You can be a mage, a paladin, a ninja, warrior, whatever the heck this thing is. It almost seems like the only thing that limits the player is their imagination, and I love to see that. What I don't love to see is the drastic late game ramp up in difficulty. Now obviously I'm not the best at video games, right? But there's definitely a point where it's not even worth fighting enemies in the end game areas, and you're better off running past everything just to get to the boss room or the next site of grace. I don't know what's going on here, and I thought I was unprepared or underleveled, but after looking online and talking to some of my other friends who've been playing the game, we've all agreed that it's kind of ridiculous. And I'm not sure if this is intended, but it's definitely not enjoyable because these guys hit hard. So my advice is to make sure you level your vigor. And I'm hoping maybe there's a patch that kind of nerfs this or makes the ramp up more appropriate, because it's really crazy. Another thing I wanted to talk about too was the way that some bosses will just track you and snap to you and do some wild moves. The last main boss was the biggest culprit of this that I've seen. I haven't fought all the bosses. I've done some side bosses as well, but this is mainly what I've seen through my experience playing the game. And on top of that, it's sometimes the camera is working against you too. So not only are you fighting a boss that is snapping to you, you're also working against the camera to not screw you over and kill you. But with all that said and done, it is super rewarding when you finally do kill that boss that's kicking your teeth in and you overcome those obstacles.
Come on. Yes, let's go, dude. Let's go.
A big thing I really liked about this game is the flow of combat. It's like a dance or a song. There's a rhythm to it. Each boss has their own song, their own dance that you have to learn, and personally, I find it as a really cool experience to learn their rhythm, to see yourself progressing. Each time you get a little farther in the dance, and sometimes they bust out a new move that you've never seen before, and you have to learn the whole thing all over again. It's frustrating for sure, but rewarding at the same time. Maybe that's that inner World of Warcraft writer coming out in me, but I love it. And you have dance moves of your own too. Sometimes you have to leave and come back with new, more powerful dance moves to overcome the boss. But there's some early game bosses that I missed and I went and fought at my end game level and I totally destroyed them. And it felt good. Real good. I love coming back as a complete badass and destroying everything in my path. Alright, that's enough of a power trip. All in all, Elden Ring is a solid game. You just have to understand that it's going to be an uphill battle and it's going to take some time to learn the ropes. If you're new, don't be afraid to look up guides, and even if you're a veteran, look up guides anyway. You bought the game, you do what you want, like who cares? Definitely pull the trigger, because when you overcome that adversity and beat that boss that you were stuck on for hours, or in my case, days, that sense of accomplishment is crazy and feels so good. And it should, because you earned it. That is if you didn't cheese the boss. Shame on you if you did. Should you get Elden Ring? Yes. Are you still maidenless? Yes. Should you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends? Yes. Thanks for watching. Until next time, guys. Peace.